Tim, welcome to Media Revolutionaries.
Thanks, David.
How did you get into the media business? What drew you to it?
You know, I had an unusual start to the media business, which was, it started out after college going to an investment bank, and I worked there for about 6 months, and I realized that investment banking was not for me. And I was really interested in, always growing up, I used to read about all the biographies about all the people in media. I was very into magazines, and basically I decided to launch my own newspaper. So I left the investment bank, started from scratch, not knowing anything, and started a newspaper in Boston. And I did that for a couple of years in Boston, and in those travels met the people who originally programmed Mosaic down at MIT. And the day I saw the internet, the first time I saw a browser load and the first internet site I loaded, I realized it was going to be about 100 times better than the newspaper business. So I sold the newspaper business and ended up moving out to Seattle, working for Paul Allen on really the first internet content company called Starwave. And you know, that was 20 years ago, and you know, today I'm here in New York City working at an internet company doing internet media. So,
great story. Now, many people think that successful individuals just have a life where everything goes their way. So, if you look back, both personally or professionally, what's been your greatest setback, and how did you deal with it?
Yeah, I think that my greatest setback, first of all, I've had tons of setbacks during my career, and I think most people who are, you know, deemed quote unquote successful do, but probably the biggest one is when I made the decision to go launch the newspaper earlier in my career. At one point, since we really didn't know what we were doing at the newspaper and we were starting from scratch, I was, you know, 23 years old. I was hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. I financed it all myself. I sold my car, my mountain bike, my surfboard. I had used all my credit cards. And taught myself how to program, and basically, you know, the business almost went out of business. And so at one point, you know, what seemed like a crushing amount of debt and a crushing amount of you know, failure, frankly, in the business, it really made me make a decision about whether or not you just give up or you keep going. And I remember reading the Boston Globe one morning, and probably at the depth of you know, lowest point during the newspaper business, and there was a great quote from somebody. There was an article about how handicapped people overcome adversity, and there was a quote in there I used to carry around my wallet for years that basically said, you know, the world doesn't owe you anything. You have to get up, and every single day you have to continue to, you know, improve yourself and to grow. And I felt really bad for myself with the newspaper business at that time period, and I read that quote, and it just hit me right between the eyes, and I got up that morning and said, you know what, regardless of what happens, I'm always going to keep pushing forward. And I think, you know, it was a great lesson for me, because every single piece of success or every single failure I've had, you know, success and failure are two sides of the same coin, and the most important thing is actually to just keep moving forward and keep going. And I think that, you know, one thing that's been amazing about my experience at AOL is AOL was a company that wasn't doing well, and you know, we've gotten it to be doing better. We can do a lot better in the future, I think, but it's been a real amazing thing to watch, you know, thousands of people at this company basically get up every morning and just improve a little bit every day. And I think that, you know, failure only takes you down when you give up. And I think when you don't give up on failure and you keep moving forward, it's a really, you know, powerful thing to learn in your life. And it's, you don't want to wish failure on anybody or on yourself, but it's also probably the biggest things you learn in life come from things you fail at.
And many times, your greatest success becomes a result of how you dealt with failure.
Yeah.
When you look at your greatest success now,
Yeah.
and notwithstanding that there's a lot more to come in the future,
Yeah.
what would you say it was?
You know, the greatest success, I think, really comes down to trying to be myself. I mean, I think that for all the things that have happened in my career, some of them have been great, some of them have not been great. You know, I've had one simple philosophy, which is when I go to bed at night and I put my head on the pillow, you know, I want to be really honest with myself for mistakes I made, to apologize for them, and for successes that we've had is to really recognize the people who have driven the, you know, success. And I feel like I have a personal mission statement I use in my life, which is really about making as many people as I possibly can successful. My family, people I work with, those things, and that's really what drives me, and it's something that I personally live by. And I really think success for me has been staying focused on my family. Had a huge influence, my parents growing up on me about values and, you know, and hard work and ethics and those things, and I've tried to stay as true as I can to that overall, and I think that's probably been the best success that I'm most happy with overall.
Great insight. Now, as you look forward, you've been a change agent most of your career. Looking ahead, what do you hope to achieve?
Yeah, you know, one of the things that I think is harder as you go on in your career and as businesses get successful, and we've talked a lot about this internally at AOL, is you tend to take less risks. And, you know, nobody wants to have any success go to failure. So the more success you have, the less likely you are to take future risks in many cases. And, you know, one of the things I look forward to actually is I think actually we've taken a lot of risks at AOL and a lot of them have worked out well. But I think at a bigger scale, I hope we take even more risks in the future. And I think when you think about where we are as an industry right now and where we are as a company, you know, the reality is there's going to be billions of people more connected to the internet. Everyone's going to have a high bandwidth machine in their pocket, which is a smartphone. And the ability for human beings to have an impact with each other and across the whole industry is going to be, you know, 100 times in the future what it is today. And I think the challenge is, you know, where we look at where you are today, it's hard to imagine things 100 times bigger, 100 times faster, better, those things, but I think we have to live in that world. And if you think about the world that way, you know, I'd say that our future success is going to come from taking really substantial risks, you know, towards the future. And I think just the older you get and the more successful you are, the less you want to take risks, but it's probably the secret to keep, you know, having more success in the future is being okay with taking risks.
Now, it's been 5 years since Jeff Bewkes tapped you to become CEO of AOL, and that must have been a big life-changing event for you. How did you manage it, and what are some of the key takeaways you would like to share about that day and what you've learned over the years here?
Yeah, you know, a lot of the decisions I've made in my career have been really about where I see the future going. And, you know, I'm a buy low, sell high type person, meaning that I like to look at areas where things are disrupted or people think there's little value left. And for me, you know, AOL was a global brand. I mean, the company is basically known in almost every country in the world. And although a lot of people had given up on it, if you look at the 5 years ago when I decided to take the AOL job, you know, things that weren't popular, content wasn't popular, video wasn't really popular, advertising technology wasn't really popular, and everything in the industry had really revolved around search and some of the more utility-based things in general. But if you look forward, really what happened was the infrastructure for the entire world to be connected has gotten built, and then the scale of the amount of content, the scale of the advertising, the scale of all the things that you could kind of look forward and see were going to change. And I looked at AOL as, you know, the largest brand in the world with a huge amount of resources and an ability that it was at a low point where changing it would be very difficult, but also the company had to change to go forward. And I think the vision of having AOL change and change to where the industry is going is what we've really tried to stay focused on as a team here. And, you know, that day we'll, you know, talking to Jeff Bewkes about AOL, I told him one simple thing. He asked me, you know, what I thought about AOL, and I said, look, you know, the secret at AOL is going to be to have the red areas, the things that aren't going to grow anymore, you know, go down, and the green areas that can grow to focus on the green areas and really create a simple chart of where the future is going, put big bets inside the green areas for the future, and then really work hard on the red areas to see if you can improve them and turn them around. And we've kind of used that very simple philosophy on everything we've done for the last 5 years. And you know, overall, it's worked out. We've had some successes, we've had some failures, but at net whole, you know, we're 51-49. We're up more than we're down, and that's been really important.
And by the way, that's a great batting average in baseball.
So 500. We hit 500. I guess that's okay.
That's
yeah.
Good. So sometimes I think that our great industry is one of the best well-kept secrets from young people that never even consider it for a career. What do you tell young people about pursuing a career in this industry?
Yeah, you know, pursuing a career in this industry is almost, you know, a lot of us have been fortunate to be born in countries where you can actually excel, you can use your talents and skills to, you know, further your career or your life. And I think the best part about the internet industry overall is it's like being born in a country that allows you to have your best skill sets and best focus, you know, for your life. And really, if you think about it, you know, things are going to go more digital in the future than they are today. I mean, only 8% of commerce right now is digital. So you have 90% of commerce is not digital yet. You look at the media business, 4% of it is driven by technology. 96% of it is still not on technology platforms in general. So you have an industry which I would call for the next 20, 30, 40 years is the 90% solution. And you are going to have a tailwind of that 90%, going all the way down to the fact where it's all digital. And from a fortunate standpoint, if you choose to be in our industry, you're making a very fortunate choice, because if you work really hard and you're really focused, you have a tailwind that a lot of other industries won't have. And not only that, but I think our industry has attracted early adopters, and a lot of the people in the industry, senior people like yourself and other people who have run companies that have changed the landscape. Those are the type of people you want to be around, because they're people who are willing to take risks and move to the future. And I think hooking your train to the internet and hooking your train to a large industry full of people who want to move to the future is a very positive place to be.